Welcome to this special episode of gear review we're going to be doing on the Ascension sets. So the Ascension sets are actually three different sets of armor. I will show the weapons as well, but this isn't really particularly about the weapons, just happens to have them included. So what you're seeing right here is the Venture set, and it has its classic undersuit. This is the one that it comes with, so it's the Venture Ascension undersuit. I want to mention that I don't like the undersuit too much. At the end of this video, if you choose the chapters, you can jump ahead to some of the experimental helmets and undersuits that I tried. I think the Rust sets armor suit, and I would also suggest some of the trying some of the TCSs with this if you're just looking for a completely different style. But in general, the Ascension undersuit is just very busy, and the understated nature of the armor unfortunately makes it less flashy. On to the flight suit. So this is the probably one of the cooler sets that's in the setup. This is the Xanthule Ascension a suit. It's all one piece. That's one thing I wanted to note. So the armor, chest, and legs are together, and then the helmet is a separate. That's the only separate piece. I tried it with the Venture helmet, and this just may be taste. I prefer the Venture helmet, even with the glitch at the top. You'll note that it has like the pilot hood. It's like peeking through. I'm sure that'll be fixed over time. It's a brand new set of armor, and the servers weren't doing too hot today. But in general, I actually like the look of this more. Maybe just because it's more human-like. And, you know, to be fair, that's our biases, right? But the actual helmet it comes with is this one. So you'll see that it has winglets that are they're inspired by the Gatak stylings that are very Xi'an, and in general the set itself is pretty neat. It's part of a specialized set of armor that's supposed to be a flight suit. It can carry a pistol or other kind of sidearm, and also a multi-tool, much like utility pants. So Mason and I were just talking about the ideas of having different kinds of suits over time, where you won't be able to sit down with medium or heavy armors and fly a craft in the future. And you will need specific types of chairs to sit in, such as crash chairs, and putting your weapons that you have on your back in a special rack, and then sit down. That's what those racks are usually there for. Well, with a flight suit in general, in this one specifically, you cannot put weapons on the back. It has less utility spaces on the front, and it's mainly meant just for flight suits. It has a pretty good damage reduction. I think it's negative 15%. It's like just under a light armor, and it is it's a very neat looking set. I think that its unique stylings and also kind of labeling it as a pilot suit is a nice touch. And it has pretty good, you'll note that it has pretty good hot and cold temperatures. However, I do want to note that its capacity for storage is extremely low compared to an actual armor suit. So if you are looking for those type of things, bear that in mind. There is something to be said about these suits being used. And basically, you have your weapon racks, you have with utility gear and weapons and such in those racks, and then you have your ship storage. And that's kind of the intention. I still stand by that. I think the Venture helmet looks nicer with this set, but that might be a little out there for people. And like I said, at the end of this video, if you think this is out there, wait till you get to the end. But yeah, I think it's not a bad little suit. Negative 30 plus 60 Celsius temperature ratings. That's pretty good. That's well below freezing and well into very hot temperatures. In general, it's just a standard armor suit, essentially, like a lightweight armored flight suit, and it's all one piece. So if you're riding through the PTU, this is actually pretty handy for those who know what I'm talking about. Build to build, where you have to constantly get new gear. Having just something like this would be nice to just throw on and walk out the door. Although, remember, it does only come with the other helmet if you don't get the full Ultimate Ascension kit, which is $37.50 USD. It's a little high. Each one of these armors is like between 12 and 14 USD. They do come with a weapon as well, which is nice, the whole little kits. Do note that you might need to mix and match if you don't get the kit, and the kit is technically seen as a discount because they see it as the entire set would be 50 USD. Now, granted, you might not like all free armors, especially when you see how bulky the next one is and how specialized it is, because once again, it's kind of a year of specialized armors, especially with the flight suit and the other one. This is the Ascension sniper rifle. Like I said, I'm not going to go like testing them and whatnot, but just know it comes with a 4x magnified scope, and it's on the S71 kind of build. And then there's also a rifle. So you have the Karna rifle, the classic Karna, in the Ascension pattern. And I wanted to mention, like, the pattern itself is pretty subdued. It's like a Damascus metal, like if you've ever seen like those Forged in Fire shows or something, or those fancy, beautiful swords from Europe or something, like the Damascus steel of Spain. If you ever were thinking that, it's kind of getting that vibe. And you can see it does follow our beautiful new Soylent with its classical patterns and its circles and stuff, and its finish. It's close. It actually is quite close, especially to the salt paint as it's translated. So if you're looking to mix and match, that's probably the closest to this set of armor. And in general, I think it's a pretty neat setup. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. Now, with this set, you have an extreme difference. If you're looking at the Ultimate Pack or you're looking for something way different than the flight suit, you have another full set. So this is the Novikov Ascension set, and it's the same deal. It's a one suit and then one helmet. Now, this helmet is not the one it actually comes with. I was just fiddling with different helmets. As you can see, that's also the winged helmet. That's the style. That's the other style helmet. These helmets are not good with this set, just only for looks, because the extreme temperatures are only in the specific helmet for this helmet. And you'll see why I was kind of fiddling. This is the actual helmet it comes with. It's huge. And this is the set designed for extreme colds. So this set is designed to go down to like -200 or 300 Celsius. In general, you are nearly impervious to any kind of cold you can imagine with this set on. You need both pieces on, and this does field both weapons. So you can have two long arms, or you could have maybe the two-handed tractor beam and also a weapon to protect yourself on your back. And also, of course, a pistol and a utility tool, like a paramed or a multi-tool on your sides. It also fits a nice bit of stuff on the front of you. It has a lot of utility. In general, though, this suit is mainly meant for very, very, very cold weather. I want to emphasize, though, that in the future, you will not be able to pilot a ship with this set of armor on. So for testing purposes, once again, if you're into PTU, that's actually a very common reason people pick up sets of armor. It's so every single build, they can wake up and they have a set of gear to work with, or, over time, they get one or two more sets of gear. You can see me fiddling with the parameds. The new colorful parameds kind of fit this well. I picked the red one. It's as close as possible as I can get. CIG, I'd love to see some gold, maybe a gold paramed trim. I can dream to fit more sets of armor. But in general, it's a nice set. It flexes well when you're moving, and you don't feel like you're overheated in it. And that's something I wanted to emphasize. So if you've never used these extreme armor sets, you can just literally walk around in them all day. You won't like overheat or get hurt or something. Of course, just like normal, you have to take the helmet off for your food and drink. And that, of course, opens yours up to the elements. So you need to pace yourself. You still need like an Ursa or a ship to run into that has an Atmo that you can run into. And it's not, you don't have to worry about the temperature to consume those things. So there's no suit yet that has like a water bladder type thing that you would get, like a Camelback or whatever other brands you like. Note that the armor on this actually has a reasonable amount of storage. You got 22K on there of internal storage. So those micros are going to fit a little bit of stuff. On to the experimental section. So this is my experimental section. And you'll note that I have the Rust Undersuit and with the Venture of the Ascension series. So this is the Ascension edition of the Venture armor. I feel that this fits the best, especially when you're not wearing a helmet. But of course, that kind of defeats the purpose of some armor, if you could argue. And this is now, we're in overtime. This is just me having fun. You've been warned. So you can note that the rust set, I think that the pattern fits in well with the flexes, the pieces of the armor, like especially like the pieces that secure it to the body. Um, in general. Now, this set of armor has like a weird little nuance to it. The other sets have more glowing gold, and this one has tiny hints of it. Remember, we're in experimental mode here. You'll see it mainly on the chest, and and also on the arm with the way those readers are, those MFDs. There's like these little bits, kind of hints of other colors. So I started fiddling around, and I was like, what else can I put on this set of armor? And then I went and found it. So this is the I'm gonna butcher this name, but the Giarsimo helmets. So these were when the 100i came out, the triple stack of helmets that are in different colors. I think that helmet doesn't look terrible with the set. You can also see the mandible helmets. Now, the color is obviously off because you'll note that this actually shows how off-white that the set is, but the gold in that trim looks pretty good. Back to the set, you can see that the color is just, it's like marble. It's like a unique coloration. So if you're looking at different sets of armor and thinking about what I can combine it with, these are what not to combine it with. But the Garimissimo helmet is actually not a terrible option. Apologies for the mispronunciation of it off the top of my head. But I do enjoy those helmets a lot, like modern day riding helmets in real life. They have multiple colors on them, and they blend in well with different types of outfits, and that's intentional. So you don't have to have like multiple helmets. You can just purchase one, and that's how it is. But you'll note that a lot of these helmets do not function well with this. Like I said, I'm just having fun and I'm testing. But in general, I think that these will fit you well. I think that the Venture helmet itself is a winner, and it blends in well with that glowing gold effect, especially on the back of it. Uh, do I think these sets are worth picking up? This is, by the way, really over time. Me screwing around. This is the executive undersuit with it. Uh, the executive venture undersuit, really going, Odyssey undersuit, really going crazy, having some fun with this setup, really taking that gold to an extreme. And it actually didn't look that ridiculous, because when you look at the armors, once again, the pieces that secure the armor to the person, what you'll see is that little hint of like that fabric material that's also in the undersuit. So if you're the opposite of low profile, that's the suit for you. It looks almost ridiculous, but it's just fun and it's really, really unique. So do I think they're worth it? Yes, I think they're really fun. I don't know if you want to get all three. I think pick one of your favorites and go with it. The flight suit will certainly have value in the future. The super cold one, that if you're going to have that capability, if you like exploring moons that tend to be trying to tell you they're going to try to hurt you, having a nice set like that, but it is a little situational. And beware that helmet is huge. And the other thought I had was the Venture suit. As you saw, you can run it with a bunch of different undersuits. You can mix and match the pieces. It never hurts to have some spare armor, especially if you ride the PTU a lot and you have some fun with it. That's about all I got for this one. Thank you for coming by and just hanging out with me, especially if you made it to the end. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you to my long subscribers. I really appreciate you hanging around. All right. Have a good rest of your weekend.